like it as a substitute for my computer.
Ready when you
Okay.
are.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to the, I don't know what meeting this is, probably the 57th, seemed like it anyway.
Point one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, point one, is you're probably aware. It started out with Carl Gordon started this whole thing. And so I came in and helped him a little bit because what little I know about it. But all of a sudden he decides to move, and he's up in El Dorado Hills, and we can't use him anymore. And his parting words were, "Good luck, John." So I thought, what am I going to do? I'm absolutely doomed. I know how to use it for my purposes, and I do have a computer. So I'm like you were saying, it's a lot easier in a lot of ways to use a computer. But this is kind of the cutting edge stuff, the iPad as well as, of course, the laptop. At any rate, we've been really fortunate. I've met Ken, I don't know, probably 25 years ago, and he's been a longtime friend of mine.
Seems like it was that long.
He is actually, and I was serious when I put out the notice saying he's probably one of the outstanding people with knowledge on this subject in Northern California. I don't know of anybody that I've run into for a whole bunch of years that has the depth of information that Ken has. He's not only got it in his head, but he seeks out information. Every once in a while I'll ask him some question about where's a good place to buy a printer, and he'll usually say, well, you know what, I was over in Costco yesterday and here's the deal for the week. And he comes up with more doggone really good things. Well, fortunately, the McNexus user group, which is a Macintosh user group, and naturally it goes over into the iPad and the iPhones as well, elected Ken president. And one of the new things they've been doing is to have sort of an outreach program. And we've got two people that we benefit from. Ken, of course, is the leading one, and then some of you met Zulay Frost, her name is, and she's very good as well. So they've agreed to sort of alternate so that, and if I get stuck or if we lose one of them, I'll put it on. But at any rate, it's better to me anyway to have somebody that's got a lot broader knowledge than I do. So I'll just start with introducing Ken, long time friend, and ask, I think what he would appreciate too is if you've got problems, you know, all the way from how do you turn the darn thing off up till anything that comes to your mind where you're stuck. Ken would be glad to answer it. So, Ken, it's all yours.
John, thank you, and I hope I can live up to everything he said about me. About half of it's probably true. It's funny because when John and I met years ago, he was selling something. In fact, I believe it was before Craigslist, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
We
right.
both had these little Palm Pilots, and he had one, and I didn't know him from anything else, but he was advertising an attachment for the Palm Pilot I had, and he was as into his Palm Pilot as I was. And gosh, when you think back in those days and how the Palm Pilot seemed like just the be-all, end-all of great connectivity, and then what we've come to today, it's really, it's amazing. And it's a good time to be alive, and the best part is the things have gotten easier. And sometimes these things seem a little daunting, but if you sit back and take a deep breath and say, well, if I were designing this, how would I make it work? And go to there. Sometimes that helps. Or go find the youngest kid around and ask them how to fix it, because they'll always do it. This is me. This is part of the business. I come out and I have quite a few clients out here. I'm not here to really promote that, but I am available. I also encourage you to utilize the Apple Store, which is fantastic. A lot of times you can get free tech support there with the geniuses. You can book an appointment ahead of time. They're a victim of their own success. They're very busy. So go in before the mall opens. Sometimes that's the best times to get in there. The other thing, as John mentioned, is we have MagNexus, which is a 30-year-old company or 30-year-old organization started in October 30 years ago. And we started out to do Macintoshes when the Macintoshes first came out. And the organization has now evolved into more iPad, or what we call iOS, which is the operating system. So we still have Macintosh stuff, but probably the majority of our classes and our input is the iOS, the iPad, and the iPhone. And I teach classes every first Saturday of every month down at St. Mark's Church, which is right behind Country Club at Watt and El Camino. And then Zule's daughter and another guy, Tara, and another guy, Richard, teach down at the Sacramento Food Bank on the third Saturday of every month. And those classes, I say, come to the classes, and if you like it, you can join, and a family can join for $40 a year for MacNexus. We have 600 members, so it's a long-time organization, and it's really a good source for that. They also have it set up so on the first Saturday of every month, you can go in, and they have a place set up where you can get a little one-to-one attention if you have some issues and stuff too. So,
Let me add one thing. For anybody up here, Alheda and I both go to those Saturday meetings as well as the monthly Tuesday meetings on Tuesday evenings. And we drive, either he drives or I drive. So every time there's a meeting, they're welcome to come along. All you have to do is just meet us down there or give us a call, and we'll run to wherever you live.
and come try it out. You know, you don't have to join right away. If it's something you like, $40 for a year is really pretty reasonable. So, but give it a try first, because we want to make sure you will want to do it. And we're pretty sound as a group financially, so it's not like it's going to hurt us or not hurt us if people sign up for it. But we get our return membership is great, and you guys are the perfect demographic. It really, it's not a young organization. I got to tell you that. It really isn't. So, go ahead.
What time is that on
Saturday, it's 9 to noon at St. Mark's Church, 9 in the morning till noon. And we have a break halfway through, and they have some pastries and coffee and stuff downstairs that you can go to. And there isn't, we teach in the upstairs, but there's elevators to the upstairs.
What Saturday is that on?
The first Saturday of every month. And then the one at the food bank, which is downtown, is the third Saturday of every month, and that's from 9 to noon also. Okay, so this kind of relates more to computers, but that's probably how you feel sometimes when you can't get your email to come in, and maybe you've been tempted to kind of go like this. Well, there's a lot of resources out there, and that's what we're talking about, is to try to alleviate this. The other thing that's really bizarre is the old days, you know, there was like a room in the house where the computer was, and it was like this little jail that you'd go into and you sit in the computer. Well, now your computer goes with you everywhere, and your iPad is, believe it or not, more functional than a regular computer. It can do more things than a computer can. It's amazing what it can do, but it's getting to know what it can do. So there's the guy fixing it, and then you've got the cloud. So if everything's working right, you guys have all heard about the cloud, right? I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. So I'll escape out of that. And this is my iPad right here that's in my hand, displayed on the screen. At the end of the session, well, if those of you that have a piece of paper, I'll show you where we're going to go. I'm making a recording of today, and it'll be posted on YouTube within the next couple days. And it's going to be at kenspencer.com, suspiciously like my name. And if you go to MacNexus, it's a little dark there, but MacNexus, that's where I post all the classes. And all the classes I've done are here, going back, gosh, over a year on different things. So I will post an Eskaton class there, and it's the recording of my screen. So everything you see on the screen today will be here. So when you take notes, you'll be able to go back and go, what did he say? Where did he want to go? Things like that. And also it records what I'm saying. So when you ask questions, I'll repeat your questions so that it can be on the recording also. If you don't want to be on the recording, ask quietly. All right, so here is the iPad. And John and I talked about this. I think, because there's a lot of new people with iPads because of the holiday, I can see some new iPad boxes and things like that. So I think today the best thing to do is let's try answer any specific questions people have. If it gets kind of what we call out in the weeds, we may put that off till the end or something. But the same question you have is probably the same question other people are asking. So somebody had mentioned there you have some problems with some email, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So does it work when you're at your apartment and not work when you're here?
No, it was just a one-time deal.
Ah.
Just said the email was being delayed.
That's actually on their end, and there's nothing you can do about it, and then it probably went through okay.
Yes.
So one time only deals. So if you think about this, forget that it's an email. Think about what happens here is just like the postman. If you're going to address a letter, you drop it in the post box here. Somebody comes and picks it up, takes it to the local post office, and then it goes to a clearinghouse, and this is all hopefully it makes it. And then it goes from there to their local post office, and then it goes to the carrier, and then it goes to that other person's box. All for what, 49 cents now. Your email works the same way. And any little cut in that whole process can create a problem. Now, if you address an envelope and you kind of mess up on the street name a little bit, they probably know what that street is. In emails, if you make any little, if you put a space in an email that shouldn't be there, or anything like that, it's going to not go where you want it to. In your case, it was on the other end. It was almost like the box was full. Okay, we can't take any more mail right now, and then they cleaned it out, and then the mail went through. It was like the postal carrier's bag was too full. But on your end, it was okay. So while we're on email, any other questions on email? It doesn't matter whether you capitalize the name or don't capitalize the name. Makes no difference at all, but never any spaces. Okay? Did you have?
Well, I have nothing to do with email, but
Okay, go ahead.
when I look at my apps and I ask for my ID, I put it in and then it says.
So the question is when I go to my apps and you want to try buy an app and you try to put your password in and it doesn't accept it. Well, passwords are the biggest reason I get calls. It is, you're not putting in the correct password. It may seem like it, but capitals are important on your passwords.
I put in the capital and I put in the numbers and I've done it like 3 times. And it still won't accept.
Then it's incorrect
And then they send me an email now I found out.
because they want you to reset it
I have never been able to pick up that email.
because of your password. Passwords are a pain. They really are. Apple is working to make that easier for you. I have on my iPhone a fingerprint reader. That's the newest thing on the iPhones, and you're going to see it on all the Apple devices very soon, where in place of a password, I put my thumb on it, and for iTunes in the App Store, it will accept that as my password.
Okay.
So that's coming, but it doesn't do you any good right now. So when it comes to password resets, it's really not anything we can cover in here because it's so specialized. If you get a chance, you can go to the Apple Store. I can work with you a little bit after the class here and see, but it really is, they have, or someone has changed your password, or you have the wrong password. And actually, we talked about kenspencer.com, and if you guys want to, if you go up to my website, right under here, it says Mac Sheet. Okay? Oops.
Can't read it.
You can't read it. A lot of
It's kind of dark. Right there. It's. Oh, let me go to this next. I'll go one more screen forward. It might be easier to read. A little easier there. Mac Sheet right at the top. Okay. Click on that, and it brings up a sheet you can print out that you actually put your passwords in, but you write them in by hand.
Why do you print it out?
Does your iPad not print?
I haven't tried it.
Okay. If you have a newer printer, you can set them up to print from your iPad. Do you also have a computer?
Yes, I have wireless.
So you could print it from your computer, but the newer printers If they're wireless, you can print directly from your iPad and your iPhone. So it has to be a specific printer. So I'll tell you what, if you go to my website and you email me with your printer model, I can check to see if it's able to do that for you. Okay? But that's really important that you get an AirPrint printer and then have the wireless set up so that you can print from these devices. Again, I said it can do more than the computer. Most of the time it really can. Okay? So passwords are a pain. I know it. The problem with passwords is you have a password for the bank, you have a password for the credit card site, you have a password for the other bank, etc.
And they change them regularly.
They don't usually change them.
Well,
Some
they
sites,
make you change.
right. Well, not all. Some of them do in timeout, but here's my way to use passwords. Most passwords, most of the requirements are 8 characters or longer. Usually 1 letter, or 1 number, and 1 capital letter. So let's give you an example. First of all, you should never use words that are in the dictionary, unless you put a number in between them, because some of these programs can use the dictionary to try to put in passwords. So let's just use the word password, and let's figure out how we can make that secure. So we put a capital P for password, the word password, and then at the end we'll put a number. Password 1, let's say. But you never really want to have different passwords. You want to have different passwords for different places. Your email, etc. So at the end you could go password 1, and if it's Wells Fargo Bank, you could end it with a WF. And if it's B of A, password 1, BA for Bank of America. And then you have a different password for both, but your main password is the same. Don't use the word password, I'm not saying that. You could use your name, but I would recommend putting a number in between. It's not just people getting in, guessing your password. They do what's called social engineering. They look for your first name. They look for your last name, and they try to run those things. The birthday's a little harder, but yeah, you know, you could put if you put your name and your birth year, sometimes that's pretty easily guessed. You know, but passwords are tough. But my feeling is I make 1 password and I make slight variations of it so that I can always be entering it. And then I'm always entering essentially the same thing. And I go, you know, like for Amazon, I could do my password AZ. Well, I may have made it AM instead of AZ. But then I just try AM and try AZ. It's a suffix is how it's considered. Passwords are tough. They're working on it. Apple has the technology to do it right now with just the fingerprint reader. The problem is if someone, as a consumer, messes it up, Apple will get blamed. So Apple's treading very lightly to make sure everything's very secure. And part of the reason for this is because going forward, you're going to be able to buy things with an iPhone and an iPad. Like, for instance, right now, I can walk into the Apple store with this or with my iPad, take an item off the shelf, everything except computers, take an item off the shelf, use the Apple app on here, hold it up to my camera, it scans the barcode, and it says, do you want to purchase this? I say yes, and it goes on the card I have on file in iTunes, and I walk out the front door with it. Now, I got to tell you, that feels really strange. So what I do is, as I'm going out, I say, yeah, this Easy Pay, that's pretty nice, you know, because I don't want to think, I mean, the instant is you feel guilty you're shoplifting when you've just rung it up. Nobody had to help me. It gets emailed to you. It's on your device because you're connected by Wi-Fi. It just got sent to you. You can have them print a receipt if you want. I'm just saying that's where it's going, but only because Apple does it. At Starbucks, you walk in with your phone, it says, oh, hey, Bob, do you want to have this, put this on your card? And you do it from that. So that's where it's going, and you'll be able to purchase a lot of things. But that's why they want to make sure all the passwords are very, very secure. Okay? We would all love it if we could have 1, 2, 3 for our password. But that's not very secure. So print out the sheet from Mac Sheet. You'll be able to put in all your passwords there. I say it's password hell, and I'm sorry, but it really is for many people, and it's most of the calls I get. Okay? I have a good relationship with most of my clients, and they call me and ask me what their password is. Because I have eidetic memory, so I usually remember most of their passwords. But it's kind of a double-edged, like, do I want to let them know I still know it? But they kind of, it's just because it's frustrating. It's frustrating for everyone. It's getting better. There are some apps that can cure it. Like her problem with getting in. It's probably the right password, or it's probably it's not the right. You're putting it in correctly, but it's not what they have on file for it. John?
You might mention the hackers on that one where they send you an email that you put in the password or you wanting to change it or something.
John brings up a good point. There's another way that they can get your information, and that's what's called phishing, and it's phishing with a PH. So I don't have an account with Citibank, but I get an email saying, this is Citibank Security. We've found that your account needs to have its security updated. Please log in here and press on this email. And it takes you to a site that looks just like the Citibank site. It's not. It's a fake Citibank site that I or other people could create in 10 minutes to make it look just like a Citibank site. And when you click on it and it wants your username and password, you have now given them your Citibank username and password that you already had established. And now this phisher, this hacker, has your username and password. So if anybody with a credit card, Amazon, banks, anything sends you an email saying, please click here, we need you to sign in, that is never how you do it. And again, this is nothing Apple can cure. This is nothing anybody else can cure because it's social engineering. It's the con artist that comes to your front door is what this is. If you're worried about it, you go directly to your Wells Fargo site or your Wells Fargo app or Bank of America or MasterCard. Wherever you are, you go to that site directly and log in like you normally would, and it would tell you if you have anything pending like that. Never click on an email to go to a site that wants your username and password. Is that pretty clear? Go ahead.
I got one the other night, a telephone call.
Mm-hmm.
And this voice says, this is Windows.
Oh, I knew as soon as you said that, I was going to tell the story. Yep.
Windows Security, and I listened to him for a couple of minutes, and I said, I'm not interested, and hung up.
Do you have a Windows machine?
Yeah.
Okay, she has a Windows machine. So what this is again the con artist calling and saying, I'm from Microsoft. First of all, they can fake where the phone number is coming from. They can't make it look like Microsoft, but they can make it look like Redmond, Washington, where Microsoft is located. Now, I'm a Mac person, and there's reasons to be a Mac person is because you can't get a virus. People in the Windows world are always worried about getting viruses and always worried about their computer malfunctioning. So these kind of calls are very accurate. What they say is, we see that your computer has been running slowly and you've been infected by a virus.
That's what
Only the NSA gets that access to your computer. Nobody else is able to look into your computer. This is a total out-of-the-blue call. It's the same thing as someone sending me a Citibank email when I don't have a Citibank account. So I would love to get that phone call sometime because I could just have my way with them.
I imagine you could have fun.
But what happens is, and I've had clients have this happen to them, you allow them to log into your computer and share your screen, which is something I can do with people I can help them on their computer remotely. They log in and they harvest your email password or they infect your computer with the virus or lock it down, and you give them your credit card for this tech support they're doing, and then they have your credit card, and then the worst thing is they'll lock down your computer and say, you know what, if you want your computer to work again, give us $200. And it's amazing because it's that they feed on this fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And that's what they're playing on when they call you with that, because every Windows machine runs slow, and sometimes Mac machines run slow, but on the Mac, nothing they can do about it. But I'll tell you what, we all have iPads. Can't happen on an iPad. They can't do anything to get you infected or anything else. You cannot get a virus on the iPad. The only thing you're vulnerable to are social engineering, these emails saying it's from Citibank or these calls from Microsoft saying they can do it. All they can do is harvest your password. They cannot infect your iPads. You're as safe as can be. You put that out of your mind. There's nothing. And I'm on the internet a lot. I read a lot of things. You can't get hurt a bit. Guaranteed. Absolutely. I mean, believe me, I would tell you if you could. You cannot. There's no known virus. There's no known infection for Apple because they've got to put passwords in all the time. So those are called phishing schemes, PH, and what they do is, you think about these net fishermen, they throw out this net and they capture a few people and they get a little bit of money off of that. So, but if you had given, if it had gone through, and I know you were smart enough not to do it, but if you give the person your credit card or they get into your email, immediately go into your email and change your email password and call your credit card companies, whatever credit card you use, because you will get fraudulent charges on it. They're harvesting it to get the credit card information. In your case, they were going to try to charge you for tech support. Then once they had your credit card for that, then they're going to... Yeah. Any other issues? I want to show you one thing that I've shown in the class here before that's probably the best guide for an iPad. And I'll show you up on my iPad. Let me get it on the screen here. So, is everyone connected to the network here? Let's make sure we're connected. You have a little, if you'll notice up at the top, there's a little Wi-Fi logo right there. Maybe if I get to a better screen, it'll show up. See the little, right here? That little logo, does everybody have that on their iPad? Do you have it on your iPad? Where's your iPad? It's in the upper left, right next to the word iPad. It looks like a little fan, or like I say, it looks like part of a baseball diamond. Anybody not connected? Anybody not have that up there? John, which is the one here for Red? Okay. Who doesn't have it? Good.
I've run out of juice.
You ran out of juice. You know what? I can run an extension cord to you if you want. So, what's that?
Everybody has a different thing on
They have the same logo. They have the same logo in the top. Do you? Yeah, you're out of juice, I think. So first of all, who here turns this off with the button and turns it off and waits for it? Good. Just put it to sleep. Do you actually physically turn it off and then slide to turn it off? No need to. When you close the cover, it goes to sleep, and it will last for 30 days. So the only time you ever really need to turn it off is if you're not going to use it for a long time. That's to really turn it off. And when I say turn it off, you press and hold the power button, and you get this little screen that says slide the power off. Not necessary at all. Because this will sit asleep for 30 days. Using it, it lasts for 10 hours of use. So, you use it for an hour, sit it, got 9 hours left. So don't be afraid to use it, but don't feel like you have to turn it off. And to go through the airports and stuff, it doesn't have to be turned off. And in fact, you can keep these in your bags and your luggage. You're not required to take them out. Okay?
I thought turning it off saved power.
Maybe you'll get 35 days instead of 30 days. Very little. It is so energy efficient, and when it's asleep, you hardly gain anything at all, to be honest. And then it's right there when you want it, So what I want to show you is a website that helps you find everything on your iPad, and I think quite a few of you have this. So what I'm going to do is, and let me go to full screen here. All right. So up at the top, this is called the URL bar. Oh, the one that has a laser on it. Right here, boy, this thing reflects. Right here. I'm just go to Safari. I'm sorry. Safari, the little. Right here, Safari. Safari is the little compass.
I don't have.
You should. Bottom there. Bottom.
This one?
Yep.
Oh, that's sure.
You're in Safari. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Let's see where we are here. We got you on a screen we need to get out of. Messages. No, we can dismiss that. So, cancel. All right, you're in Safari. Now, by the way, iPads are designed to be operated horizontal, where the iPhone is designed to be upright. Well, that's just a website you're on. So what is Safari? Safari is your web browser, okay? You're in Safari. You're fine. You want to hit Safari right there. Okay. Looks like it, yeah. Okay. So we have two different operating systems in here. When you're in Safari, those of you in iOS 7 have one solid bar across the top. Okay? Some of you may have a bar here and then a second little bar over here. Okay? I think you do. Okay. What the bar on the right is a Google search bar. So if you want to search for apple pie, you would tap that and type in apple pie. All the rest of you are going to tap right here, and your keyboard will come up.
I don't have that on my screen.
It's,
I got favorites on mine.
right here. Tap right there, your keyboard comes up.
I want to see.
No, I don't want you to go to Google. I want everybody to have their keyboard up. Tapping this bar up here. Yeah, don't worry about it. Tap right here. There you go. Just tap on the very top. Right there, and your keyboard will come up. Oh, you have a keyboard attached here. Yeah, you're going to have to use that because that's using it. You can turn that off and you get the regular keyboard. Good? Okay. So everybody's got a keyboard up. You're going to use your regular keyboard there or turn it off and then it'll come up there.
How do I turn it off?
There should be an on-off switch on it.
You have
Here, let me see.
keyboards here. I thought you were supposed to tap here.
Yeah,
he did.
He did.
Okay, you say. He wants you to have
There, your keyboard's up now. See?
your.
Okay. So the keyboard is up because it's saying, what do you want to type up here? Now, don't tap on anything because a few of you are starting, but what I need to do is I want you to go over to the right-hand side right up here where there's a little X and tap it, and it should clear that line out. Okay? Anybody not have it cleared out?
I haven't touched
The little X in the upper right?
This part changed.
Yours is clear? How you doing?
touched it.
Everybody clear? Who doesn't have their bar
You
clear?
didn't realize you did that.
I'm just.
No, tap up here. Now hit the X. Hit the X. Okay, that's good. That's all we want.
Ken, she needs to go back one screen.
No, we just need to hit the X. Okay? Just don't touch anything. Don't touch anything.
He did that time.
You hit the X. All right, so now, that cleared everything out. Okay, this is very important. You have to type exactly what I'm going to tell you. We're going to type help, H-E-L-P, H-E-A-L-P, period. No, don't tap on any, yeah, just the letters, H-E-L-P. The period is in the lower right below the question mark. Just hang on, just make sure you got help.
Where is it appearing?
Right up here.
I
Yeah, you don't have it spelled
I
correctly.
was misspelling.
Okay, it doesn't have to be capitalized, just H-E-L-P. You're back to start now.
Yeah, F-H-E-L.
H-E-L-P. Good. Everybody there? You need the X. Oh, it's already filling in there. You're okay. Okay, help, period. Then Apple, A-P-P-L-E, help, period, Apple, A-P-P-L-E, lower right corner, under the question mark.
Oh, that's not under the question mark.
Yours isn't under the question mark?
It is, but
Okay.
I thought that was part of the question mark.
No, so what it is, capital one would show the question mark, lowercase shows the period.
I press on it. Okay, I have H-E-L-P what?
Dot Apple,
Apple.
.com, period, C-O-M.
I had a lot of stuff.
Just keep typing. Just keep typing. Don't worry about what's showing up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Dot.
Two apples.
Well, you shouldn't. You should be help.apple.com. You need to get rid of the second apple. So backspace to it.
I lost my keyboard.
Help.apple.com. Anybody?
My keyboard.
It's just right.
You have to tap on this. And then I'll clear it. There. Type it. Help.apple.com.
Should be up in there.
Everybody there? Anybody not on help.apple.com?
Am I not the right place?
You got two
I
dots.
said commies.
You didn't put it-
Comma.
you didn't put a
No,
dot
he needs what he's saying.
after help.
Okay, do I have it the right place?
No.
Is there a dot there?
And it's like we said earlier, you can't miss it. Okay. Well, help.apple.com. Anybody not there? Yes, please let me know if you're not. Otherwise, we're going to move on.
Help.apple.com.
Yeah, don't worry about what's coming up down below yet.
I have it all there.
Don't worry about it.
She's got it down below.
Okay, now,
That's what I noticed.
what I want you to do is we need to put a slash in there. So you watch my keyboard up here first, okay? I'm going to tap right here, and then I'm going to tap right there. So you have to tap on the 1, 2, 3, and then the slash. So it should read help, just like mine, help.apple.com slash, shouldn't be too far behind. Oh, hang on. Back to Safari. Okay, oh.
Did you get this one? I didn't.
Yeah, stop.
You have to
Sorry.
change.
Yeah, you're not ahead of me, so hang on. Okay, you're ahead, hang on.
I have nothing on there.
Just hang on.
Here's a slash.
No, I'll fix it. We'll make it easy for you.
What kind of slash is that?
Just hang on. It's a slash is this kind. Okay? Can't see that? Okay. You don't need it. You're already in though. Okay. .com slash. No, she's where she needs to be.
I just hit it wrong with an extra finger.
Okay, just hang on. We'll go back. Oh no, you're exactly where you need to be. You're in the spot. Don't touch it. Don't touch the screen. Don't touch the screen. Don't touch the screen.
You see it up here?
Yeah, well,
Oh,
I
the
can't
6
do
filled
that.
in because you're running iOS 6. Hers will have a 7 because she's running iOS 7. It's just, it senses what operating system you're running. So, help.apple.com slash and then iPad, I-P-A-D. Okay? I-P-A-D. Don't worry about yours. Don't touch anything on yours because you're where you need to be. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm always seeing
How you
this.
doing here? Okay, how we doing? Perfect. So don't tap anything on your keyboard once you get iPad up there.
I just didn't know about
Then you're good. You're good. All right, now it should say help.apple.com slash iPad, and I want you to tap the Go button over here.
Tap what?
The Go button on the right-hand side of your keyboard.
Oh, I've never done that.
You ready to go? You're going.
it. Ooh, I shouldn't have touched that.
Now,
iPad user.
but you're not going to have the same screen as the rest of us because you have the older operating system. Same with,
It's got
nope,
touch.
you got it.
It's got touch to accidental.
No, that's okay, you're good. So you're on iOS 6, as is she. So it's a little bit different display. Did you enter? Oh, you're not.
7.
Yeah. So it's only you two that are set up a little differently. But as I go through this, yours works the same. Now, those of us on 7, it looks just like this. Those of you on 6 have a table of contents on the left side. So let's look on the screen for a minute. I'm going to show you how this works. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Before we do any of this, I want you to go up to the top, and there's a little box with an arrow coming out of it. On 6, you have a curved arrow, I think.
Don't touch it.
Probably on the bottom.
Put up there in the right-hand corner. A box
Right
with
up
an
here,
arrow.
a box with a curved arrow. You have a box with a curved arrow kind of to the right of the top. Everybody hit the box they have there. Don't go anywhere else.
Hit it.
Tap it. And you're going to get a screen like I have right here. Okay? It's a box with an arrow pointing out of it. Okay?
Got it.
So, all right, now, those of you two that are on iOS 6, bear with me a second, and I'll come and do yours in a second, okay?
He'll come and do yours.
So, those of you without, did yours come up with this, like this? Great. So now what we want to do is, I'm going to go right here, and there's a little thing that says Add to Home Screen. It's the third item at the bottom. Add to Home Screen. Tap it.
Tap the sentence.
No, tap the little icon. There you go. Tap the icon. Everybody should have a little box with a question mark in it, right? Okay, well yours are done different. You're on iOS 6, so hang on a second.
This isn't right.
Well, you didn't.
I did touch the box.
Don't touch anything.
I didn't see
Okay.
the icon.
Yeah, so you guys all have it up. So now on the upper right-hand corner, I want you to tap Add.
No, here. Yeah.
Right hand is here.
Right in the box, sorry. Right there. The little blue Add button in the upper right-hand side of that box. It's right here.
Add.
Add.
Mine is here.
Okay? Yeah, and you can hit, if a little thing comes up, just hit Dismiss.
And I got a note now.
No problem. Hit Dismiss. Hit Dismiss on that.
Hit what?
Dismiss.
It's where she went clear back.
Just go ahead and hit that. Hit the little Dismiss on the bottom of that box.
Is that just nice for
Yeah.
everyone? Right.
Okay. Now, let me get the iOS 6 people up to speed here real quick. So on yours, we're going to put here. We're going to say
See,
Add to
it's
Home
come
Screen,
up
and
with
yours is a little
question
different.
Yeah. It's a little too
And
fast.
now it's going to be on the home screen.
I moved to help.
That's okay. And then I came back here. Oh,
And, yeah.
add to home screen.
Oh, there's a big one.
So now the weird thing is, it looks like an app, doesn't it? Perfect. It looks like an app on your, like the other apps.
Right.
So, now that you're on the home screen, everybody can see it, right? You too on iOS 6, it's a little white thing that looks kind of ugly, but it does the same thing. So let's everybody tap on the little question mark, or in your guys' case is the little white screen that's on your,
This one?
yep.
Now you have just a blank screen. Keep that mask.
Don't worry about it, it's going to load.
Easier to look at.
Wait a minute. Son of a-
So we'll go to the home screen. Let's see.
See, it's just the same as that up there.
Yeah, I can see that.
And turn it sideways. Turn it horizontally. Then you'll get it. Take dismiss. Dismiss.
Well, it's the same.
I can bring my own, but I
Okay,
can't
now.
see
Yeah.
Everybody should have, no, she has the same thing, it's just a different layout because you're on iOS 6. So see, this is a table of contents. And I'm going to show you how it works here, but you'll see how mine has this stuff on the side? This is your stuff on the side. So it's a little different layout because of your operating system. Now, this would automatically detect, let's say you upgrade to iOS 7, which is the newest and latest and greatest, right? It will detect it, and then your screen will look like ours. You don't have to change anything. It detects what operating system. In October, they'll probably come out with iOS 8. And this same thing will work for iOS 8, but obviously it will have a different protocol on how to do things, but yours will update. So everybody should be on this screen. Now, along here is a table of contents, and I can slide my table of contents up and down. Okay? Now, we're going to pick the first one, which says iPad at a glance. Yours might say overview. Yours too.
No.
What's the first item?
iPad at a glance.
Tap it.
I don't see it.
The first item.
The first item.
iPad at a glance.
Oh,
Okay?
okay.
Then let's hit iPad. Did you do it, Scott?
No, I have a problem with things that are wireless.
Oh, okay.
At a
I don't
glance.
Yeah, but it's.
My iPad with the top full,
But yours is going to be different. Ours will change to another content. This is your secondary menu. Okay, so now
I don't see all of that.
iPad at a glance, and the next one is iPad overview. So if we tap iPad overview, it shows you what all your buttons are. So what this is just an interactive guide on your iPad. This is Ken when Ken's not here. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but how did we get there again? We went to our home screen. Don't do it. We went to our home screen, and we clicked on our iPad user guide, the question mark, and it comes up. And this is here for you all the time, as long as you're connected to the internet.
To do what?
To find out how to use it. If you want to know how to use Safari, you would come down to Safari. So let's go up on the screen here. I'm going to tap on Safari. I'm going to tap on search the web.
You want to type the words?
No, I'm not typing anything.
He's just showing.
I'm just going here, and I'm going to go down to Safari.
Does it have a back
Boom. No, they're in order of use. There you go. So, don't waste any time. You can be sitting in the bathroom. You can learn about your iPad. You've got it all with you now. And it's better than reading in a book because you see it right here, and it shows you what the menus look like and everything, and it's free. It's the best thing for mail, how to connect with Wi-Fi, how to do all those things. And why in the world didn't Apple make it so you can get to this automatically from the beginning? Because Apple's the one that makes this, but we have to go through this hullabaloo to make it happen, and it's one of the most useful resources on the iPad. Yes, ma'am.
You tap.
Tap anything.
You tap Safari,
Yeah,
and is that
the browser.
where will that take us?
It just shows you what it does. It doesn't take you anywhere. Think about this as your instruction manual. The instruction manual doesn't cook your food in the microwave. It tells you how to use the microwave, right? So that's all this is an instruction manual, and you can see how interactive it is. And the best part is, if they come out with a new operating system, it will be the new operating system that might have some added things to it. They probably won't change too much, but they might have some added features. Okay? So you've got this one expanded. So if I tap it, it closes. Safari's right there.
Let me see it.
Well, oh, you know what? Oh, you can't see your screen very well. We're going to fix that right now because iOS 7, you on iOS 6, pay no attention to this, but on iOS 7, Apple's very much into subtlety and making things, and you know what? They make it not so usable. So I want everybody to hit your home button. No, you on iOS 6. You two on iOS 6, don't worry about this because you already have a good thing. Hit your home button, which is the only button on the face of the thing. Hit the home button right there. The home button right there.
Not the screen.
The only button on the face.
Oh, yes, start.
Press it. Press it.
Press it.
Okay. Now,
Base.
what I want everyone to find is a little gray gear. If you're on iOS 7, you need to find your gray gear called Settings.
You need to move this
Move a
over.
page. Oh, it's right here.
Oh, there it is.
Tap on Settings. Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Home button, Settings. The gray gear is Settings. Right here. Go back a screen. Swipe from left to right. Swipe. Left to right. Swipe. Swipe across your screen. This way. This way. You got to swipe on the screen. Then go to Settings. You're in iOS 6, so it won't affect you. Settings, the gray gear. Okay.
This is
You're in 7. You're good. Settings, the gray gear. Everybody should have a screen like this unless you're on iOS 6. Okay, now, I want to have you come down here and click on General. It's about the, 7th, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9th item, General on the left-hand side. I want you to tap on General one time. It should be highlighted in blue like this.
Oh, blue.
General. You're good. You're highlighted.
I can barely see it. Yeah, this is it.
Okay. So, everybody should have General. What happens is that brings up a menu on the right side. And I want to come down to Accessibility right here. Accessibility is like the 6th item. Tap Accessibility. Tell me if you didn't tap it.
I don't see it.
All right, we'll tap.
You're on iOS 6, right? No. Yeah, you're on iOS 6.
This is sounds.
Yes.
Yeah, so you don't need this because see how her text is better, but look how weak her text is.
She's not right here.
Just hang on.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know how to fix it.
Takes me a little while to find it.
All right, everybody tap on Accessibility. You won't have to do it. I do it. I already did it on yours.
You're not gonna have it.
Tap Accessibility.
Let me ask him a question.
Okay.
You said general. Where was general?
Right here. Oh no, you're on the wrong one.
Mine said sound.
So now you're in Accessibility. Okay. So iOS 6 doesn't need it, John. It's already bold.
He did it. He just did it.
You're where you need to be. This is only a one-time only deal. You won't have to do it again ever. So over on the right, you see where it says increase contrast right here.
Touch it.
No, I'm.
Right below bold text, it says increase contrast. Right there.
There it is.
Okay. When you get to increase contrast, press it, and turn it on the right-hand side. There's a little button. You have to slide it, kind of. Or tap it. There you go.
On the right hand side.
He already did it.
She's good. No.
It's
There you
gone.
go. There it goes. Increase contrast. Don't worry about an iOS 6, John.
Okay, I'm just watching.
Yours is on.
Increase contrast.
You don't. Yours 6.
I know,
You
but
backed
I
out of it.
just read it.
So that's a year.
Yeah. So we're gonna go next. Slide this to turn it on. Well, these are pretty critical things that we really help.
It says this
So increasing contrast.
belong from
So now everybody click on General on the left again. Even though it's blue, tap it one more time. Okay? And now tap Accessibility. Okay? Now, tap Accessibility again. Now, we want to go in Accessibility, we want to go to bold text, but don't do it yet. It's in the second group.
There's accessibility.
Bold text, good.
Says bold.
Okay, now,
There it is, right?
don't tap it.
Don't touch it.
I'm not going to touch it.
What I'm going to do is,
I can't get accessibility. Automatically.
Unless he says so, I'm not touching anything.
I don't blame you.
General, you're already in. So now, all we're going to do is, right over here, I want Mine is green already. Yours is not. Mom, yours is. So don't worry about it. I want you to tick and slide that button to the right. Slide the button over on bold text to the right here. Tap it and slide it.
Right.
Yep. Tap, slide it. Oh, it's the wrong way. Yes, hit continue if you get that little thing. Hit continue. Go ahead and hit continue. Don't worry, it'll reboot. This is important. It's good. Go ahead and hit continue. It means you did the right thing. Good. So you guys just, oh, Mom, I said not to do it. Well, everybody else got it.
Does not say continue.
No,
Oh, yes,
yeah,
it
now it
does.
says continue.
Yes, it does.
Yep, hit continue.
Touch it.
And now, no problem. So it's going to reboot. When it reboots, you will have larger text. So once it reboots, go ahead and just hit your home button and try to turn it on. Just hit your home button. Home button is the only button on the face.
I have to turn it on.
Press it. Okay, now slide to unlock. Press your home button, slide to unlock. Now, everywhere, all your text will be larger. Oh, believe me, you do. You don't pay extra for it. When you do it,
How large is it?
well, no, it's not. It's bold. It's not larger.
Oh,
It's bold.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Now,
If
If you-
it's darker now.
just hit the home button and then go ahead and turn it on. It'll turn it on. Slide it. It's not a real reboot. It's what they call a springboard reboot. But some of you are vision impaired, so this will not apply to everyone. But I want to show you how you can make. We've just made the text bolder. Only fixed what Apple ruined when they went to iOS 7. So we've already cured that. But now we're going to show you, and again, please, this doesn't apply unless you have trouble seeing your screen. We're going to go back to general. So how did we get there? We went to the gray gear. So hit your home button. Get to the home screen always.
Home screen.
Hit the home button.
Home button.
Oh, is
No,
that what this
that's
is?
button. That's the home
This
button.
is called a home button.
The home button because it takes you home. This doesn't look like Kansas anymore, Toto.
Okay, and here's the icon.
There we go. Okay, now, and we want to go ahead and click on accessibility again, please. And again, please, if you don't need larger text, don't do that. Just follow along. I'm sorry? No, hit your home button.
I didn't know that was a
Go to the
home
gray
button.
gear. Go to the gray gear, not the question mark.
Turn it on and off.
Hit the home button. Go to the gray gear, not the question mark. That's okay. And then accessibility. Oh, actually, hang on. It's text size right above. You know what? Everybody hit your general button again so you're on the main general screen. And you guys can adjust your text size in this one. Your text size, yeah, it's right there. Oh, you're not on settings.
Yeah, you're on settings. If I go to home.
Okay. So,
Hit that, hit the button, and it turns. That's the general.
hold on. You know where you can? You're right where you can.
Touch that.
Perfect. So, right here we have one that says text size. Those of you on iOS 6 can only pick certain sizes. Those of us on iOS 7, when we hit text size, we have a slider bar to make our text larger or smaller. Now, hold on. There's a drawback. If I make my text really big, and I go to read my email, it's going to be 30 pages long. It's going to be like it scrolled off an old computer, right?
Yeah.
So it's within reason, and you can see how it acts there. And it's not just your mail; it's all your settings and all the things. So be careful with this, but I want to let you know it's there, and you can go in and change it how you want.
Text size.
It's actually not in John Hunt theirs. It might be
No,
in.
she can't.
I think it's in accessibility on iOS 6.
I don't know accessibility.
Well, you're past accessibility.
I had it before.
No, you're good there. We used to do it upside down. Oops.
It's happened so fast.
Accessibility.
Oh, here it
And
is.
large text, it's called. So you already have yours set. So you're on iOS 7. Do you want your text increased in size, or are you okay?
I have accessibility.
Yes.
He doesn't want this
Okay,
point
then you're
point
okay.
is
And
where
yours
it
is a little
is
bit
now,
different spot,
and,
so you can know.
When they're talking
and
about
if I
it,
wanted more, I would
see where they are.
push the 2 points.
Accessibility. And then right here is it's just got a large text, and you pick the size of
Because
the
I
text.
touched that.
If you can see everything okay, you're fine. I don't encourage you to use large text unless you read it.
So I can just, what should I leave it as?
Just leave it like it is. If everything's then fine. Because even if you make it too big, you're starting to lose, and then you gotta scroll across. Just so you know, there's tons of features built into this. Those of you that are sight impaired, you can have it read your email to you, or have it read the web pages for you. Have it read websites or emails to you. I have a client who is blind. He can use his iPhone as well as I do, completely blind. There's so much accessibility stuff built into this. We could do a week-long class. But you have it inside. You don't need books, Mom. You don't need to read books. Oh, I thought you meant how to do it. Yeah, you can read Kindle books on this. You can read Apple books, but you don't need to buy books because you've got the iPad user guide for the iPad. Now, I want to know who on here. What I'm going to have you do is everybody go to your home screen. So let's get to the home screen by hitting the home button, the only button on the face. And now, I'm going to have you press and hold the home button for a few seconds. And I'm going to do it first. And I'll show you what comes up on the screen. And then I'll have you do it. And I want to know who doesn't have this come up on their screen. So if I press and hold the home button.
Press it now.
No.
If you get this, when you press and hold, I don't want to have you raise your hand. So press and hold the home button.
And hold.
Press and hold until it beeps. Okay? Press and hold. Go, yes, hit the home button on that. Press and hold. No, you gotta hold the button.
You gotta hold it.
She was missing the button. Your case is getting away. Let go. Let go. Let go a second. Oh, you have the keyboard.
I'm still holding.
Uh-oh. It's getting political on us back there. Yeah.
I send a lot of emails. That's all I
But I have to do it, so this is after you.
That isn't what you get.
This is a later version.
What, if she has Siri? She had Siri, it came up to her.
Yeah. This is Siri. This is the one we'll talk to.
She has a question.
Okay, you don't have Siri, so what I'm about to show doesn't apply to you. You don't have Siri. It's a newer SIRI. So press and hold, what happened?
She doesn't have it.
Okay,
I don't have
okay. You don't have it. Press and hold, what happens on yours?
I got a ring.
And you do, because you have an iPad mini. Does it come up? Press and hold your home button. Ah,
What talks to you later.
you have Siri.
But you don't want to do it.
Okay.
And you don't have it.
So I'm just going to diverge here a little bit because I want to show you this, and this is really good if people are sight impaired. Then you might not have it.
But you do have
See, you can't, you're not going to be able to use this.
It's an
He
iPad.
said Siri.
Doesn't have Siri.
I didn't know what word
Let me
it
look and make sure
was.
that
Serious.
No, it's Siri.
Well, the latest, but they had a different model that they had.
Unless you know what he's talking about, it doesn't make any sense.
For this to be installed.
Okay, so you don't have it, you don't have it. You guys just kind of forget this for a second, but I only want to show people what's capable with Siri on your iPad because we're talking about how to do all this stuff. And Siri is my girlfriend, and I'll let you use her. So those of you that have Siri, you can do things like send mom an email.
I don't have an email address for mom.
Oh,
To whom shall I send it?
send Kay Spencer an email.
Which email address for Key Spencer? Okay, what would you like to say?
Just testing Siri.
Here's your email to Key Spencer and Sunny Spencer. Ready to send it.
Yes. So now she just got an email from me, and I didn't touch the screen.
I'll send it.
You have to have Siri, and it's only on iPad minis, the iPad 3, the iPad 4, and the new iPad Air, and iPhone 4Ss and 5 and 5Ss. So she has a
if
different
we have
model.
iPad 7, we don't have it.
No, iOS 7 is the operating system.
Give it to you.
Let's see on yours.
Oh,
You have the iPad Air. You have Siri,
okay.
and you have iOS 7, guaranteed, because that's the newest and the latest and the greatest. If you guys distract her, well, I'll grab it. But it's an iPad 2
You say I'm a 7.
because it was $200 less than the other one. You're only missing Siri. You get to do everything else everybody else does, but I only want to point it out because going forward is something that can really, really be useful. Okay? Now, on our iPad user guide, it will tell you about Siri. That doesn't mean you have Siri. Siri doesn't have to do with the software. It has to do with built-in hardware. The processor isn't capable enough to do it. That's a geeky term with a little brain inside.
Can you have a put on?
You can't.
No.
Nope. Okay. What do we write out in that? I'm happy to go. If anybody needs to go somewhere, go right ahead. Otherwise, I can keep going, and I'm happy to answer some questions. The most important thing I want to do is have you get the iPad user guide on there because now you're going to be experts. And if you're not, it means you didn't use the iPad user guide enough.
I have to ask him how
I'll
to
have to
use
do it 10 more times
before I leave him.
Get my app when I put in my.
That's your password deal. That's going to be, you're going to have to set an appointment with that or go to Apple and see if they can do it for you. Because they can do it. I would make an appointment at the Apple
They
store.
told me that they send me an email,
It's easier to type.
and I can't see any of these.
I'll work with you in a minute when we're done. Whatever you
Is that my
You
phone?
have cards?
I'm going to go to kenspencer.com. I actually have some Nexus cards I can give out. Now I'm going to stop the recording, and then I'll show you guys again where the recording is.